I'm Josh Hucke, and I own Hucke Hauling Construction here in southeast Kansas. We do dirt work and site work. We build pads and level rock for anywhere from farm to commercial projects. Ozark Laser and Shoring, I use all Topcon equipment, and so he had come up to do an equipment swap with another contractor that I was working with, and they had a level best box blade, and so I was already acquainted with Doug, and so I asked Doug, you know, how do I get one of these? And he said, well, we sell them, and I said, well, I have to have one, and that's how he fixed me up, and I already had most of the equipment to run it. All I needed was the System 5 box and one more sensor, and I was ready to go, so it made sense to me. Just go ahead and buy it. My first experience with it wasn't the best. I was pretty upset. I had mounted the pole on both ends, which is not the way these are designed to work. And so it would wobble, it would walk, and it wouldn't just hold level. And so I was so mad, and I called Doug and I said, you gotta come get something done with this. And he said, calm down, I'll send a guy right out. So they came up, they moved the elevation pole to the center, and it worked perfectly ever since, and one of the greatest tools I've ever purchased, honestly. It's great. The way mine operates is, you know, I have a controller that hooks onto the joystick, and it's got some buttons. So you got manual, you can go side to side and up and down, and then you have a button that you push that locks on the machine control. And so you can access the manual override while you're locked on. So if you get into a real heavy push and you can't push through it, you can bump this thing up and it'll go right back down to where it sets. And you basically you want to keep it level when you're setting it up. You know, you're going to shoot your grade, you're going to find your spot, whatever your elevation is, and you're going to set that box blade down to what elevation you want, and then you put your level on. And you move it side to side until you get it perfectly level. At that point, you can set your laser. You can go back and zero set the laser if you're working on a slope, or if you're just doing a flat plane, you just lock in right there. I have several guys, and they are machine operators, but with this thing, I can literally take anybody who's you know, a semi-good operator, and he can look like a full-blown professional. It is that good. I put guys on this thing, and I let them, and I set it up for them, and I show them how to use it, and then I can walk away and go do something else on the job, and I don't have to worry about, you know, if they're getting a little too high, or if they're getting a little too low, or if there's low spots here. And this thing is just precise. And so yeah, you can take a mediocre operator and turn him into a genius with one of these. You know, when we're dealing with subgrade, and then we go back and we put you know, rock over that to be underneath the concrete. My deal was, if I'm bringing my dirt up, my LVC material to this level, I want it to the exact level, and then so that when I put my rock, which costs more money, so I'm saving money on rock costs because I know that I'm getting a more precise grade, and also on the concrete side, which sometimes we end up pouring the concrete on the pads that we're building. Sometimes there's other contractors that are pouring the concrete on the building, but literally, no overrun. I mean, it's scary how precise this thing is. You're saving on two different areas there. So the first time after my debacle with having the grade poles in the wrong spot, we were not doing the concrete on that particular job, and another contractor was coming down, and of course they had final grade over the pad, but we had used this to do our pad, and so he came down And of course, they're going to take their laser and set it up, and they're going to go do some shooting around to see if they need to do some grading. And so I watched the guy walk around the pad, and he kept setting it down and looking at it. He'd move, and he'd walk over here, and he'd sit down. Finally, he walked over to me and he said, "That's the best and the flattest pad I've ever got to pour concrete on." And he was quite impressed and had lots of questions. Where'd you get that thing? What is that? And it was, you know, it makes the guy feel good. You know, a contractor, a dirt contractor, when another contractor gives you a compliment like that, you know, I've never poured on a pad that's this flat and this level. And so it was great. It was great. They appreciated it. So.